Hello everyone. How are you today? Stay strong, stay alert, stay focused in these streets. So finally, justice for Shineka Gray after almost 7 years, but it's still justice just the same. Boy oh boy, it's really hard when you lose someone you love so dear, and it takes so much years for justice to be served. However, we thank the police investigating team and the judiciary for making it finally happen. For those who may have forgotten, Shineka Gray was a 15-year-old schoolgirl from Greenpond High School in St. James and is a 10th grade student from the school. However, she was found stabbed to death in the community of Irwin in St. James. On February 1st, 2017, 3 days after she was last seen alive in Montego Bay after returning home from a funeral of a next student at her school. Roberts and another man, Maria Morrison, were subsequently arrested and charged in relation to Gray's murder. Morrison pleaded guilty in September 2022 after entering a plea deal with the state and was sentenced to life in prison a month later. One of the craziest things about this act of savagery, her death was even videotaped by these creeps who assaulted her and took turns raping her after they lured her in their vehicle with her thinking it was a taxi she was getting into to get home. Then her night turned out to be a nightmare, which based on revelation in court, she still felt hopeful she was going to get home, as she tried to go along with what they wanted her to do. They gave her the impression they would let her go at the end of the ordeal, but in the end, they took her life just the same. And the audacity of it all, they videoed it even while she cried out please and begged for her life. She even cried out, "Is so you would want somebody to do your daughter?" But all that went on deaf ears. But what she wouldn't have understood is this delusions of adults in these streets with maternal instincts towards other people's children. It is not real, because a lot of these adults don't even have maternal instinct or feeling towards their own children that they get or even care for 9 months. And that is a very unfortunate reality. However, the verdict was handed down by a 7-member jury today, the 24th of January 2024, in the St. James Circuit Court. Gregory Roberts, the latter of the two, perpetrator of this most heinous crime, is to be sentenced by High Court Justice Bertram Morrison on March the 7th. In terms of Gregory Roberts, who was sentenced today, the court heard evidence that Robert killed Gray as a way of getting back at his ex-girlfriend, whom he accused of conning him out of money and refused to return it, and that he had Morrison record the fatal stabbing of Shineka Gray to impress on his ex-girlfriend that he will do her the same. Prosecutors also provided cell site evidence as well as the messages log, which showed threatening messages between Roberts and his ex-girlfriend and also his ex-girlfriend's mother within hours leading up to Shineka's Gray murder. This is such a very sad case because she's only just 15-year old, where all she did was boarded a taxi to get home and never got home. All because of some perverts who wanted to satisfy their ego and prove themselves. Just remember, guys, as I take a line from one of Tanya Stevens' songs, these streets don't love you. You have to be critical and cautious and be suspicious in your every movement. And remember, things may not always be what they seem to be. Avoid taking risk and follow your gut. It's never wrong. Well, the greatest thing, her family can find closure and justice served, as this will be the second culprit to be sentenced. And he'll be sentenced on the 7th of March 2024. Can you just imagine, as a parent, you at home waiting on your child to get home, and this is the end result? Even her school friends who last seen her at the taxi stand, they also testified in court as they parted ways with her at the taxi stand, as some went in another direction in another taxi. It was just unfortunate it was her alone that was going in a different direction. Imagine how traumatized they are. They kept breaking down in court while giving their testimony. Somehow, I don't believe this was the first time these guys did what they did. It's just that they got too confident and they got caught. It's just like with many criminals in Jamaica, They do something and them get away, and them underestimate the JCF or the police force and thinking that them always will be delinquent, so there is no chance they will get caught. So they get lazy, they drop the guard and think they got this, and then bops, they get caught. They better wake up to the realization that we have a new JCF in Jamaica, and they are really trying, you can see it, they are really trying to put a stop to crimes and criminals. Because this criminal was busy gloating about the video on his phone, how him a wicked man, to intimidate the ex-girlfriend, and somehow someone saw the picture, how it looked very much like the young girl that was missing, and her body later found. And that's how things eventually got unraveled. These criminals better know, everything that we do in life is always a matter of time. They better remember, it's not every day bucket go a well. Days the bucket must drop out, or the bottom of the bucket must drop out. This is why I so wish the powers that be could organize some sort of transportation for schoolers, especially in the rural parishes, because those areas, you have to send your child out to school. You have to let them get educated. But how they travel to and from is a major problem. Because you know what? We don't know how much more of these kind of perverts is out there. And trust and believe, there is many more out there. So what will be happening is that every time you send out your child to school or children to school, you'll be worrying and hoping and stressing that they get back home safe. I wish, as I said, the powers that be could organize some kind of mode of transport for children that live in difficult to commute area in rural parishes, a way of getting to school or designate. Say for example, you have two men at the ear with a little bus. Let them responsible to get those children to and from school. And they would be the one that really would be responsible for that area. So area B, everybody who come from area B, John Strokes are him responsible to get them to and from school. And they have him ID up. His name is written down somewhere, whether with the transport authority or something. But we have to think more about these children, because there are many children still not being found. Even here in Kingston, they take away the little kids going to school. You understand? And so on. We have to do more to protect our children. You understand? This was really, really a bad one. I remember when I just heard the story, it was like really bad. You know, it's just a pity it takes so long for justice, but still, we got justice in the end. Anyway, guys, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my platform, please. Remember, if you have any ideas, on what could help in terms of how children get to and from school. You know what? Social media is a vast place right now. And even sometimes those people in power might take a glance through and might just see somebody's opinion and say, so that sounds good. I'm just saying. Anyway, guys, love you all. Bye for now.